evening, everybody, and welcome to Hastings College for the 43rd edition of the Sertoma 8-Man Football Classic. We have got the best and brightest 8-man football players from across the state of Nebraska gathered in Hastings once again this year, and we have had a whale of a week. These guys have been, they checked in Sunday afternoon and have been here throughout. A lot of team activities, obviously a lot of practices. It's a mini coaches clinic of sorts as well for all of the coaches who come in from across the state. But as we get ready to honor these men, we have got some medallions and some parent recognition to go through as well. So we will get into that here in just a few minutes. These players over the course of 4 years have sacrificed, of course, so much time and effort, weightlifting sessions, practices, long bus rides for games, here, there, and everywhere. And, of course, their parents sacrifice equally and sometimes even more so. So one of the cool traditions of the 8-Man All-Star Classic, the recognition of not just the players in the game, but of the parents as well.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to A.H. Jones Stadium in the Osborne Family Sports Complex at Hastings College and the 2021 Nebraska Sertoma 8-Man All-Star Football Game. Since 1978, the Nebraska 8-Man Football Coaches Association, along with the Hastings Sertoma Club, have worked to bring together the best 8-man football players from the recently graduated high school senior class. Proceeds benefit the Nebraska Speech and Hearing Association. Now let's meet the 2021 8-Man All-Star players. Medals will be presented at midfield by Nathan Glaus from Palmer, the president of the Nebraska 8-Man Coaches Association. He'll be assisted by Bob McAvoy, from Clarkson Lee, vice president of the 8-Man Coaches Association. Ron Beacom from Neely Oakdale, secretary of the Nebraska 8-Man Coaches Association. And Brian Blevins from Lawrence Nelson, the treasurer of the Nebraska 8-Man Coaches Association, with special assistance from Cruz Blevins. First of all, for the West All-Stars, wearing number 1, Servano Diaz, a 5'8", 160-pound running back from Dundee County, Stratton. He's the son of Catalino Diaz and Sandra Cortez. Coached in high school by Mike Spargo. Parents, you can walk out and greet your players at midfield as well. For the East All-Stars, wearing number 1, Sutton Pullman, 6'1", 190-pound wide receiver, defensive back from Stanton, the son of Shad and Amy Pullman, coached by Dave Stoddard.
So each camera, 4 camera, one team in yellow, one team in green.
For the West All-Stars, wearing number 2, Brian Turek, running back, 5'10", 180 pounds from Hemingford. He's the son of Troy and Molly Turek, coached by Jordan Haas. For the East All-Stars, wearing number 2, a 5'11", 155-pound wide receiver defensive back, Dalton Kleinschmidt from Bruning, Davenport, Shickley, the son of Russ and Jody Kleinschmidt. Coached by Mark Broder and Chris Ardisono.
Camera 3, take the team in yellow. Camera 4, take the team in green.
For the West All-Stars, wearing number 4, Grant Winkelbauer, a 6'2", 190-pound outside linebacker from O'Neill, St. Mary's. He's the son of Matthew and Erica Winklebauer. Coached by Tony Allen.
So camera 3, why don't you move out a little closer?
Wearing number 3 for the East All-Stars is Jake Gibbs, a middle linebacker at 6 foot, 185 pounds from Brownell Talbot. He's the son of Jason and Christy Gibbs. Coached by Wade Lunam.
No, not sound wise. He can't talk back.
Wearing number 7 for the West All-Stars, Julian Hearn, a wide receiver at 5'9", 162 pounds from Neely Oakdale, the grandson of Bruce and Connie Opie. Coached by Ron Beacom. For the East All-Stars, wearing number 7 is Isaac Noyd, a running back at 5'9", 155 pounds from Cross County. He's the son of Charles and Neely Noyd. Coached by Hayden Delano. Wearing number 10 for the West All-Stars is Carson Reimers, a 6'4", 195-pound quarterback from Palmer, the son of Kevin and Kristen Reimers. Coached by Nathan Glaus. Number 8 on the East All-Stars is Kyle Stirrup, a defensive end at 6'4", 220 pounds from Osceola, the son of Don and Stephanie Stirrup. Coached by Bob Fuller. On the West All-Stars, wearing number 12 is Derek Goldenstein, a defensive back at 5'7", 160 pounds from Kennesaw, the son of Eric Goldenstein and Jennifer Knuth. Coached in high school by Craig Schnitzler. For the East All-Stars, wearing number 10 is Trey Fisher, a 5'11", 165-pound wide receiver from Thayer Central, the son of Gene and Lori Fisher. Coached by Jermaine Jones. For the West All-Stars, wearing number 15 is Cade Sofronic, a 6', 190-pound tight end from Anselmo Myrna, the son of Brent and Leslie Sofronic. Coached in high school by Matt McGinn. For the East All-Stars, wearing number 11 is Jackson Beathy, a 6'4", 190-pound tight end from Exeter Milligan, the son of Mark and Jane Beathy, coached by Dean Philippi. Wearing number 16 for the West All-Stars is Jeffrey Schmeitz, a defensive back at 6', 170 pounds from Riverside High School, the son of Ken and Susan Schmeitz. Coached in high school by Corey Velasic. Number 12 on the East All-Stars is Kobe Heitman, a 6', 180-pound wide receiver from Hartington, Newcastle, the son of Dennis and Tracy Heitman. Coached by Corey Aldrich. Wearing number 23 for the West All-Stars is Ruben Rinchler, a 6'3", 175-pound wide receiver from West Holt, the son of Jared and Misty Rinchler, coached by Steve Neptune. On the East All-Stars, wearing number 13 is Cole Sims, a 6', 165-pound quarterback from Tri-County, the son of Jeremy and Jamie Sims. Coached by Brett Schneiding. Wearing number 25 on the West All-Stars is Jaden Scott, a 5'11", 170-pound defensive back from Arcadia Loop City, the son of Mike and Sarah Scott. Coached in high school by Mike Scott. Number 14 for the East All-Stars is Jared Drake, a 6', 190-pound fullback from Elmwood Murdoch, the son of Kent Drake and Katie Jeffries. Coached in high school by Lance Steffen. West All-Stars, wearing number 30 is Carter Snyder, a 5'10", 195-pound defensive end from Sutherland, the son of Jaron and Heather Snyder, coached in high school by Brendan Geyer. On the East All-Stars, number 15 is Isaac Norman, a 6'1", 165-pound defensive back from Fullerton. It's the son of Troy and Cheryl Norman, coached by Brandon Siegel. Number 33 on the West All-Stars is Quade Young, a 5'10", 220-pound middle linebacker from Sargent, the son of Zane and Teresa Young, coached by Mike Koziel. For the East All-Stars, wearing number 17, Hunter Houghton, a 5'10", 165-pound quarterback and defensive back from Johnson County Central, the son of Ryan and Lynn Houghton, coached in high school by Gabe Mintz. Wearing number 35 for the West All-Stars is Keegan Benson, a 6'2", 200-pound defensive end from Arapahoe, the son of Jason and Abby Benson, coached in high school by Dustin Kronhoffman. For the West All-Stars, wearing number 35, Keegan Benson, a 6'2", 200-pound defensive end from Arapahoe, the son of Jason and Abby Benson, coached in high school by Dustin Kronhoffman. For the East All-Stars, wearing number 18 is Lance Proprochki, a 5'10", 155-pound defensive back from Clarkson Lee, the son of Matt and Trish Proprochki. Wearing number 36 for the West All-Stars is Keith Miller, a 5'10", 170-pound offensive outside linebacker from Lawrence Nelson, the son of Phil Miller and Renee Miller, coached in high school by Brian Blevins. For the East All-Stars, wearing number 21, Brandon Beeson, a 6'3", 195-pound quarterback defensive back from Tri-County, the son of Mitch and Lisa Minke, coached by Brett Scheiding. Wearing number 42 for the West All-Stars is Chet Wickman, a 6', 220-pound center from Palmer, the son of Brad and Chris Wickman, coached by Nathan Glaus. For the East All-Stars, wearing number 22 is Anthony Isom, a 5'11", 185-pound linebacker from Allen. He's the son of Mike and Val Isom, coached in high school by Dave Oldrick. Wearing number 43 for the West All-Stars is Reed McFadden, a 6', 215-pound guard from Sand Hills, Thetford, the son of Rick and Don McFadden, coached by Josh Dinas. Wearing number 24 for the East All-Stars is Hostin Forney, a wide receiver defensive back at 6', 165 pounds from Humphrey St. Francis, the son of Shane and Kathy Forney, coached by Eric Kessler and Dave Strickland. For the West All-Stars, wearing number 45, Connor Schutz, 6'2", 190-pound quarterback from Elwood, the son of Jeff and Kadena Moore and Shane and Stacy Schutz, coached in high school by Ben Spiegel. Wearing number 37 for the East All-Stars is Kyle Artisono, The center and defensive end at 6'4", 225 pounds from Bruning Davenport Shickley, the son of Chris and Beth Ardisono, coached by Chris Sardisono and Mark Rotter. Wearing number 50 for the West All-Stars is Bryce McIntosh, a 6'2", 190-pound defensive end from Mullen, the son of Bernie and Barb McIntosh, coached in high school by Wade Marsh. On the East All-Stars, wearing number 38 is Austin Jurgens, a 6'3", 225-pound defensive end from Diller Odell. He's the son of Patrick and Candace Jurgens, coached by Chris Schulter. On the West All-Stars, number 51 is Clayton Detlefs, a 5'11", 185-pound outside linebacker from Arcadia Loop City, the son of Gary and Dar Detlefs, coached in high school by Mike Scott. Wearing number 40 for the East All-Stars is Del Castile, a 6', 205-pound linebacker from Falls City Sacred Heart. He's the son of Mark and Stephanie Bippus, coached by Doug Goltz. Number 52 on the West All-Stars is Jesse Drahota, a 6'1", 200-pound running back from Ravenna, the son of Brandon and Angie Drahota, coached in high school by Dan Bowling. On the East All-Stars, number 51 is Tyler McBride, a 6'1", 210-pound center from Wisner Pilger, the son of Gary and Ann McBride, coached by A.J. Berkey. On the West All-Stars, number 55 is Braden Brannick, a 6', 265-pound guard from Sand Hills, Thetford, the son of Lonnie Brannick and Brenda Bowers, coached in high school by Josh Dennis. Number 56 on the East All-Stars is Peyton Weisler, a 5'11", 230-pound defensive lineman from Wynot, son of Steve and Tammy Weisler, coached by Steve Hyman. Wearing number 61 for the West All-Stars, at 6'1", 265-pound nose tackle Isaiah Garou from Morrill, the son of Josh and Cynthia Garou, coached in high school by Skylar Ferguson. On the East All-Stars, wearing number 58 is Gabe Lauk, a 6'5", 220-pound defensive lineman from Bloomfield, the son of Ben and Jen Lauk, coached by Matt Kuchar. Number 75 for the West All-Stars is Hunter Mayfield, a 6'5", 240-pound defensive end from Burwell, the son of Brandon and Jenny Mayfield. Mayfield coached in high school by Luke Gideon. And on the East All-Stars, wearing number 7, Adam Echtenkamp, a 6'5", 225-pound lineman from Lutheran High Northeast, the son of Roger and Lisa Echtenkamp, coached by Darren Suckstorp. Number 80 on the West All-Stars is Trevor Cargill, a 6'2", 270-pound guard from Central Valley. He's the son of the late Gail Cargill and Angie Cargill, coached in high school by Jess Rother. And on the East All-Stars, wearing number 93 is Zach Shanks, a 6'1", 285-pound offensive lineman from Emerson Hubbard. He's the son of Bill and Angie Shanks, coached in high school by Joe Caverda. And now for the coaching staffs of tonight's football game. First of all, an assistant coach on the West All-Stars, Tony Allen, accompanied by his wife Angie and children Cody, Ty, and Haley. On the East All-Stars, assistant coach Matt Kuchar, whose wife Bridget and children Grace, Ian, and Owen. assistant coach for the West All-Stars, Paul Heisenkelp. Wife Jill, sons and children Elijah, Madison, Ariana, Isabel, and Aaron. Assistant coach for the East All-Stars, Darren Suxdorf, along with his wife Stephanie and children Madison, Kennedy, Grace, and Tyson. The West assistant coach is Taryn Wood, along with his wife Natalie and children Brecken, Ora, and Everly James. And an assistant coach for the East All-Stars is Jacob Baber, along with his wife Alyssa and children Lyndon and Layton. And now for the head coaches for tonight's game for the West All-Stars. Head coach Jordan Haas, along with his wife Lisa. And the head coach for the East All-Stars tonight is Clint Jones, along with his wife Mindy and his children Jayden, Jared, Jaron, and Jamie. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2021 Nebraska Sertoma 8-Man All-Star players and coaches. This time we'd ask everyone to stand for tonight's invocation. Our invocation will be offered tonight by Daniel Bowler, the program director for the Crossroads Missions of Hastings.
If you would, join me in prayer. Lord God, tonight we're so thankful. Lord, we're thankful for the cool weather. God, we're thankful that we can be together today. Lord, we're thankful for friends and family that we can be together with. Lord, we're thankful for our freedoms that even today we can stand in prayer in the public square, Lord. And Lord, we're thankful for groups like Sertoma of Hastings, Lord, the work that they do. We pray that the recipients of their efforts would be blessed. We ask for your blessings over the events of tonight. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. And prior to tonight's national anthem, we do have an announcement to make. From 1978 to the present, the Chorus of the Plains has opened each and every 8-Man All-Star game with their rendition of our national anthem. This presentation of the Star-Spangled Banner is essential to creating a game day atmosphere, and they've done a remarkable job for many years. In recognition of their multiple decades of contribution to the success of this game, the Nebraska 8-Man Football Coaches Association and the Hastings Sertoma Club would like to honor the Chorus of the Plains for their 44 years of performance by inducting the Chorus of the Plains into the Nebraska 8-Man Football Coaches Association Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. Thank you.
Welcome back to Hastings College for tonight's 43rd edition of the Sertoma 8-Man All-Star Classic. We have got the national anthem and invocation all squared away. The parents and player recognitions are done, and we are getting set for the coin toss and kickoff coming up here momentarily. It is always fun for us at Striv. This is our 7th year of broadcasting the 8-Man All-Star game, and it has been a fun partnership with the 8-Man Football Coaches Association and, of course, Sertoma that puts on the week. It's a big week for that organization and all of the fundraising that they do in support of different activities across the city of Hastings, and always fun to be in the shade. We are blessed with a breeze here tonight. Put this in the historical perspective, so when you go back and watch this years down the road, you can remember, yeah, it has been hot in Nebraska this week. But fortunately in Hastings tonight, not too bad. We do have a little breeze that'll keep the bugs off you, keep the wind moving, and it should make for an enjoyable experience tonight. Sun coming out tonight. There's a chance of showers, but hopefully those hold off until well after we are done with this ball game. The East is back in the gold uniforms on the far side of the field, which is, of course, the east side of the stadium, and the West in the gold side on the near side.
Number 3, if you hear me, either zoom in or
Number 45, Connor Schutz. Number 51, Clayton Jackson.
right now, hopefully.
Number 61, City of
Camera
Peru.
1, camera
And
1.
number 80, Trevor Carter.
We never won the camera 2 that had the same shot. So either, well, then it's 7 or 1 is what it is.
It's not any better whether you're on the near side line.
Camera 2 now.
The West All-Stars won tonight's coin flip and chose to defer the decision to the second half. The East All-Stars will receive the ball to start the game. East will be defending the south goal, West defending your north goal.
West kicking off to East to start things up for our game today. 12 minutes on the clock.
You're going to follow the ball down. As he's running, you can slowly zoom in on the returner.
Ruben Rentschler from West Holt doing the kickoff duties for the West, moving into a south breeze. And we are underway for the 43rd edition of the Sertoma 8-Man All-Star Classic. We are playing the 100-yard length, and we've got a nice return right out of the gate. Near sideline, it is Dalton Kleinschmidt from BDS with a 40-some-odd-yard return and into West territory. So a great start for the East All-Stars. And they will be bringing out the offense first. Quarterback will be Cole Seams from Tri-County, 6 foot, 165. Led the Trojans all the way to the semifinals last fall. And, just the fact that we got to play football last fall seems like it was forever ago. This is a guy who ran for a whole bunch of yards last fall, too. He was also in the semifinals. That was Isaac Noyd on the carry. Isaac from Cross County, part of a group, a game last fall that featured 3 2,000-yard rushers while they played, before they ever kicked it off. Cross County and Coach Hayden Delano featured one of the best 8-man rushing attacks in the country. So an offset eye, and it's toss left. After toss right, Noyd slips through a little crack in the defense, and he is right near first down yardage after a couple of yards there. Quade Young in on the tackle, and they will say first down as he crosses the 39-yard line. Sutton Pullman out there, along with, we mentioned Noyd, Seems the quarterback. Brandon Beeson from Tri-County, also a captain, is one of the tight ends. In fact, he pulled that time back inside, and on the fullback trap, the West was ready for it. Grant Winklebauer came around from the end, and it was Del Castile, the fullback from Fall City Sacred Heart. Coach Doug Goltz has had a few guys in this game over the years, has he not? But Winklebauer came across from the backside to help stop that thing up. Isaiah Guru from Morrill, the nose guard, also had a hand in that one. So no gain on the quick trap. And now Seams goes in the shotgun, but too many guys moving at the same time. We will have a false start and our first penalty flag of the game. Nate Williams heads up the crew for the officials here. 10:52 to go in the opening period, the opening possession of the ball game.
Pass from Cole Sims is complete to Stuart Pullman. Tackle made by Jeffrey Schneitz. Carries down to the 24-yard line. It's good for a East first down.
After the carry, or the catch, it's Noyd picking up nice yardage again. He is inside the 20-yard line down to the 18. Coming over the top was Jaden Scott, one of the safeties. Jaden from Arcadia Loop City, 5'11", 170 pounds. Kyle Artisono, Adam Eckenkamp, and Zach Shanks, the three offensive linemen. And a quarterback draw, and it seems near side, popped out of bounds, but first down yardage. It's going to be first and goal. A nice-looking opening drive, spurred on by the opening kickoff return by Kleinschmidt, and now Seams has got his team with a first and goal from just across the 8-yard line. Beeson will be the tight end near side. Castile, the fullback, behind him. Seams in the shotgun. Sends Noyd in motion. Some flinching up front. No penalty flag yet. Nobody got in the neutral zone. Now a check of the sideline. Castile moves over. Seems will take it. Quarterback run all the way. Back into the middle. Helmets go flying. That was 61 is Isaiah Guru for the West All-Stars, and he lost a helmet there for a second. So he's got to come out quick. Replaced. I think that's Bryce McIntosh that trotted out there. So 2nd and goal, they are marking it at the 4-yard line.
2nd and goal from the 4.
Camera 4 should also be able to hear me, right? Can you give me a thumbs up from the camera? Perfect. Get ready to get close on the score.
Quick fullback dive for Castile. Boy, that pile just does that, right? It just piles right in there.
I know you're also prepping to get up.
And a reminder, of course, that here at Hastings College, something they've done for the last few years is still play the correct 8-man width of the field, but why set up a temporary goal post and have a different goal line? Why not just play 100 yards wide? So that's what we're doing. 100 yards goal line to goal line. It is 3rd and goal from the 1. Seams in the shotgun. Seams up the middle. The lean, the push. And no signal. The West has held so far. This is very, very close. Well done in there. Trevor Cargill was in there on the bottom of the pile for the West All-Stars, and it will be 4th and goal. So it was a great opening kickoff, and it's been a nice, steady drive since, but the West bowing up right now. Quade Young also from a linebacker spot moving up to basically the defensive line. Seams with Noyd as a wingback over to the right side. Now we'll drop back into the shotgun. And he will hand it inside to Noyd, and it's a foot race, and Isaac Noyd wins it. First touchdown of the game. And here comes the celebration for the East All-Stars. And when we say the celebration, it's everybody for the East. Uh-oh, what are we doing? Oh, we're line dancing. We're line dancing. And a selfie. Fun wrinkle for the East All-Stars as Isaac Noyd takes it in from a yard out here in the first quarter.
All right, we're on camera. Yep. Now make sure you get back off the field for the extra point. We're still in.
The point after touchdown coming now. Seems again in the shotgun, puts Kleinschmidt in motion, but first, a timeout. So while we have a timeout, we are going to take a break as well. We'll come back for that PAT after this.
Truck Center Companies, keeping America's truck industry on the road.
Back here in Hastings, getting ready for the point after touchdown. Isaac Noyd with his first touchdown of the ball game. 49 yards, and it took 4 minutes and 20 seconds on the drive. And now we await the point after touchdown. That is Kleinschmidt is the wing on the far side. Seams will step up. Now step back. Little pop pass, and it's well defended. Broke it up in the corner. Boy, it was going to be open for Pullman, but Jaden Scott from Arcadia Loop City was closing quickly, was able to knock it away. And at the 7:40 mark here of the first quarter, it is 6-0 East on top.
Isaac Noyd's 1-yard touchdown run capped a drive of 49 yards.
Taking a look at some of the All-Star Game records, which is always fun. The Coaches Association has done a nice job updating the website if you haven't seen it for a while. Points scored, 58 points scored by the East back in 1978. Still stands. Your East coaches, by the way, and we're taking a look at the East sideline. Clinton Jones from Meridian heading up this year's squad. Matt Kuchar from Bloomfield. Darren Suckstorf from Lutheran High Northeast, and Jacob Baber from Meridian also on the squads this year. And over on the west side, you see Jordan Haas from Hemmingford, also Tony Allen from O'Neill St. Mary's, Paul Husingfeld from Superior, and also now Overton, and Taryn Wood from Hemmingford on the coaching staff as well from the West All-Stars. But it has been fun over the last few years. Like I said, this is the 7th year that Striv has been a part of the broadcast for the 8-man All-Star game, and it's fun to talk to the coaches throughout the week. They really do kind of treat this as a mini coaches clinic, you know. Even the coaches that aren't directly involved in coaching the game, there is still the Coaches Association. Well, Nathan Glaus from Palmer is the president of that, and so he's here all week directing different things. And you've got different coaches. Brian Blevins, I know, on that staff as well from Lawrence Nelson. So those guys are here, and there's talk about the event, and there's talk about, you know, what activity are we doing tonight, or what's coming up for practice. But these coaches, they like football too, so they talk about it a lot, right? And so it's also fun that a lot of the, quite a few that I noticed tonight, parents of players in this game are coaches on a regular Friday night. So fun stuff as well. Kyle Artisono, speaking of a son playing for his dad, has it teed up, and he will squib it along up front, and just one of the up guys falling on that at about the 37-yard line. So that is where they will take over. So the West All-Stars will take their first trip offensively out to the field. Connor Schutz from Elwood, 6'2", 190 pounds, scheduled to be the starting quarterback. Kate Safronic from Anselmo Myrna will be one tight end. Coming to the near side is Julian Hearn, a wide receiver from Neely Oakdale. The running back, Serbanio Diaz from Dundee County Stratton, and it is Diaz on the near side, and he gets upended quickly. Nice tackle in the open field from Kyle Sterrup from Osceola. Diaz, of course, the fantastic game and the fantastic D1 championship game against Burwell last fall. Diaz scoring a couple of touchdowns in that one, had a great season, over 5,000 career rushing yards, in fact, for Diaz. So Schutz goes in a little pistol set, and a hit up front. The run came from Brian Turek of Hemmingford, but the tackle came violently from Del Castile. Castile came up from one of the linebacker spots, and Turek stopped quickly. A little more than 6.5 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. The opening possession for the West offense. It is 3rd down and about 4 to go. Schutz will go into that pistol set. Send his running back. That was Drahota out to the right, and then, or out to the left, and then back to the right comes the run from Schutz. And it will be 3rd down and about 1 to go. Castile again in on the tackle. Clayton Detlefs from Arcadia Loop City joining the offensive fray. He got to start outside linebacker. This is Schutz in the backfield, sends Diaz in motion, and Serbanio going to turn up, but I think he got tripped up in the backfield. Anthony Isom came up, got the back of a heel, and Diaz, boy, he had some green grass, but got a little bit outside that blocker. Ends up tripping himself up, and it's a turnover on downs for the West. So the East with their second possession of the ball game. Seams will go under center. Noyd dots an offset eye. He will get it on the toss sweep. Just power football. Noyd ducks underneath the block of Castile and leans to about the 42-yard line. Pushed back there by Jaden Scott, Arcadia Loop City. Also coming up there was Derek Goldenstein of Kennesaw. Mentioned those offensive linemen up front, Artisono, Echtenkamp, and Shanks, the 3 down guys, if you will. And they are center guard to the right. And now, this was going to be a halfback pass, but a back fell down, and it's going to be a sack. The East was dialing up something with Lance Paprotsky from Clarkson Lee, but his receiver, Sutton Pullman, popped out of there but tripped up on about the 35-yard line. Boy, he was going to be well behind the defense, but Paprotsky had nowhere to go, and he gets smothered up for a loss. And it's now 3rd down and 10 to go back at the 47-yard line.
Loss on the play brings it back to the 47-yard line, 3rd down, 3rd and 10. Players and coaches from the 2019 All-Star game that are due recognized between quarters, if you please come down to field level. We appreciate it.
So now Seams with a spread look in front of him. That's Pullman out to the far right side. Castile shifts over to the right side. Seems looking right the whole way. Pump fake, steps up, fires it deep. Pullman is out there. Sutton Pullman's got it. Touchdown for the East All-Stars. 47 yards.
Scores the East touchdown.
And now, how are we going to follow up the selfie here, fellas? We got to get organized first. And now a little bowling from Peyton Weisler, and they all fall down. It's a strike for the East. Pullman, 47 yards from Seams. And a conversion attempt on the way.
I'm not used to having on-the-field cameras in lab situations. Back to one. We have tryouts now past as soon as you're on the camera. That's what we're looking for.
Seams in the shotgun, sending Austin Forney in motion, but a penalty flag, as I think we might have had a procedure. That is indeed the case.
Move it back 5 yards.
All right,
So Seams again
this time
in the pistol, and Forney from Humphrey St. Francis again in motion. Seams rolling back to the left, throws it back of the end zone, but overshoots Sutton Pullman that time, and so our score remains 12-0 East All-Stars. We are going to take a short commercial break. We'll come back for the kickoff after this.
Midland's mission is to inspire people to learn and lead in the world with purpose.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard gives me a lot of opportunities. I have the ability to serve close to home, wherever that may be in the volunteer state. It also provides tuition benefits, making it possible to get the education I've always wanted. And since my service is part-time, I can pursue my dream job in the career field I choose. With part-time service in the Army National Guard, I really can have it all.
Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
8-man All-Star Classic on Striv TV. Thanks for joining us. My name is Eric Allgood. We have an all-star crew bringing you all of the sights and sounds of tonight's action. The East out to a 12-0 lead here, 5 minutes to go in the opening quarter, trying to snap a 4-game winning streak in this series by the West. And in fact, it has taken a 4-game winning streak by the West to even up the overall series at 21 games each. So a little bit of extra bragging rights on the line here tonight. It's Artisono again, a little bouncing kickoff. And again, one of the up guys for the West falls on that at about the 35-yard line.
Kick is down by Keith Miller.
Keith Miller from Lawrence Nelson
West All-Star
falls on that one.
10 from their own 36.
Two, let's go defense. We got three on. Two now. Two.
Let's Go West cheer. By the way, a special cheer coming up after this play. Fake a handoff and a carry over the left side. That was Carson Reimers from Palmer. Speaking of big quarterbacks, Reimers and Schutz, each over 6'2" and in excess of 190 pounds. These are not small fellas playing quarterback for the West. Couple of 2 yards there for Reimers.
Two on the play brings up second down and 8.
Played for Coach Nathan Glaus, who, of course, is the president of the 8-Man Coaches Association. Straight drop back into pressure, and down he goes. The sack behind the line for Austin Juergens of Diller Odell.
Carson Reimers, sacked on the play by Austin Juergens.
So Juergens gets the sack and puts the West in a difficult spot. 3rd and 18 upcoming.
Third down, 3rd and 18.
I would say we don't have to do anything right now, but okay, timeout. Let's take camera 2, follow green now.
Timeout on the field. The West wants to talk about it. We will step aside as well. 3:44 to go here in the opening period.
It's thanks to you that we're where we are today. We're proud to watch these communities grow because they're our communities too. Our neighbors, our friends. It's where we live. These are all our hometowns. And no matter what, the people who will continue to serve your needs with the hometown support you know and trust are just down the street. Cornerstone Bank. Growing together.
Coming up here at halftime, or at the end of this first quarter, we'll be recognizing the MVPs from the 2019 game. Of course, we haven't had this game since then. Thank you, COVID-19. But we're playing football in the summer, and all is right with the world. This is a 3rd and 18 for the West All-Stars. East just rushes 3, so Reimer's going to set up, chuck one deep, but he's going to miss it out of bounds. His intended receiver was Julian Hearn from Neely Oakdale. Nice coverage by Sutton Pullman of Stanton on the near side. So that is going to be a 3 and out. So drive 1 for the West ends in a turnover on downs, and drive 2 ends with -8. And they're going to go 3 and out here and give it right back to Sutton Pullman, who is back to receive this punt, and the East All-Stars. It is a high hanging kick. Rentschler, the punter, couple of bounces, now back towards the middle, and it will be downed at the 42-yard line of the East. So 3:25 to go here in the opening quarter. The West has a net of 0 offensive yards, and the East has gone 49 and 47 yards in their 2 possessions for touchdowns and a 12-0 lead. 3:25 to go here in the opening quarter. A new quarterback. This is Hunter Houghton from Johnson County Central. Took that snap and carried it over the right side of the offensive line. Hunter graduating this year from Johnson County Central in Tecumseh, but had started his career with Dad Ryan, who was the head coach at Fullerton for a number of years. Ryan, an assistant this year for the Thunderbirds, and will be taking over the head coaching job next fall, or this fall, I guess you could say. So, but good to see Hunter Houghton at quarterback here for the East All-Stars.
Carried by Isaac Noyd.
Noyd up the middle there for a short game. 3rd down and 2 upcoming for the East. We are thankful for a little breeze. It is out of the south. It is nice and warm still here tonight, but let the record book show this is not near as hot as it has been this week, really these last 2 weeks in the state of Nebraska. Houghton in the pistol by himself. Straightforward. Dives, and he should have enough for a first down. Yep, they're going to give him across the 48-yard line. That will be a first down carry for Hunter Houghton and the East All-Stars.
Tackle was led by Quade Young.
Quade Young in on that tackle. Said his name a few times last fall from Sargent.
Sorry, what I was thinking in my head is when there's a play like that where it's close to the first down, the best shot you can have is if you can show the ball and you can see the chains and you can see the official signals.
Toss sweep. It's Noyd. Dances in, dances back out. Boy, that lead fullback, that's Del Castile. He has been waylaying some blocks out there, and it's the near side safety. That's Jeff Schmeitz from Riverside. That has been the guy trying to keep coming up, along with Grant Winkelbauer from O'Neill St. Mary's, trying to come up there and take on that lead block and make Noyd go back into the middle. That's what you want there. Of course, Noyd would love the sideline and get scooting down the field. Houghton will go in the pistol. 2 receivers out there to his right side. He will roll that right side. Houghton now, he will just keep it himself. Slips forward, reaches, and he's got another first down inside the 35, down around the 33-yard line. Winkelbauer was over there along with Bryce McIntosh from Mullen. Mullen with the M on the helmet for got to be the first time ever, right? That was a big change for the Broncos this fall.
So camera forward, you're behind the offense, right? So you can even maybe sometimes get a
1st and 10 for the East. Final 40 seconds of the opening period. That is Kleinschmidt in motion, but a fumble in the backfield. And it would appear that Dalton Kleinschmidt was able to get back on top of that thing. Kleinschmidt and the BDS Eagles, champions again last fall. What a remarkable run those guys have had over the last, 5-6 years now. And it looks like that might have been, unless they hustle here. Nope, Houghton's going to take a look. Yeah, that will be the end of the first quarter of play. It is all East so far. 12-0 East All-Stars here at the end of the first quarter. Stay tuned with us. We are going to have the presentation from the 2019 game for the players of the game coming up in just a moment.
Pump up your day.
Pump up my day.
Pump up my day.
Pump up my day. Pumpin' Pantry is celebrating 50 years of serving Nebraska with special offers and prize entries every time you use your rewards card. Earn a 1-cent fuel bonus when you buy 3 28-ounce Gatorades. Sign up for Pumped Up Rewards today and join the celebration.
Pump up your day at Pumpin' Pantry.
The coach of the West All-Stars a couple of years ago was Jeff Shabram from Clearwater Orchard. Each game recognizes the most valuable players from both each team on defense and offense. The defensive most valuable player for the East All-Stars in 2019, John Christensen from Bruning, Davenport, Chickley. The West defensive MVP was Gentry Anderson from Arapahoe. The most valuable player on the East offense for the 2019 All-Star game was Edwin Baptista from Exeter Milligan Friend. And the West offensive MVP was Dane Heinrichs from Giltner. His award is being accepted by his coach, Chip Bartos. The coaches and most valuable players from the 2019 Sertoma 8-Man All-Star Game. This game has been played every year since 1978, with the exception of last year when there was something else going on. But we're still calling this the 44th 8-Man All-Star football game. And if you're keeping track of how the rivalry goes, each team has won 21 times.
Yes, indeed. It is second down and about 13 to go here for the East All-Stars as we flip ends. Dominated in that first half so far by the East. This is Houghton in the pistol, sending Kleinschmidt in motion. Will fake it. Houghton will keep it, and he is dropped quickly. Coming around the near side was Clayton Detlefs from Arcadia Loop City. If Detlefs doesn't get there, there might have been blocking inside, but as fast as Clayton came around that edge, there was nowhere for Houghton to go. He got just one on that, so third down and 12 from right at the 35-yard line. Got to get it all the way inside the 23 for the first down for the East All-Stars. Moving into the breeze that freshens every now and then out of the south. Houghton rolls, fires, first down, far sideline. It is caught out there by Brandon Beeson from Tri-County. Houghton took a hit as he let that thing go, but Beeson able to snag it. And he has got it first and 10 from the 15-yard line. Houghton again in the pistol. The wing on the near side is Kleinschmidt. Sutton Pullman, the tight end, on the near side. Castile, the fullback, and Beeson is the tight end on the far side of the formation. Everybody coming back to the left, and the defense was ready for that one. Whipping around the edge there was Grant Winklebauer. He led the charge. Got some help there from Bryce McIntosh, the defensive end. Quade Young also came up from a linebacker spot along with Jeffrey Schmeitz. So just 1 yard there, second and 9 for the East All-Stars, trying to extend their lead. They are 2 for 2 on drives and touchdowns. Houghton will keep it. Right side. Popped through a tiny little crack. And gets it down to the 10-yard line. So picks up about 4 there. It'll be third and 5. From right on the 10, got across the 5 for the first down. Your champions last fall, Dundee County Stratton, took the D1 title in a double overtime, just whale of a ball game against Burwell in Burwell. And then BDS on their home field in Shickley, able to take down Sandhills Thedford for another state championship. Speaking of BDS, this is Dalton Kleinschmidt powering his way. He will cross the 5-yard line, and he will give his East All-Stars a first and goal opportunity. Smites of Riverside came up to make the stop. But Kleinschmidt on a jet sweep was a play that coaches Roder and Artis Soto really loved last fall, especially with Aaron Mick while he was available before he was lost for the season with a knee injury. Was able to come back, though, for state track and then ended up winning the pole vault. I know, stop me if you've ever heard that a Mick won the pole vault from BDS, right? But good to see Aaron back there at the end of May. Hunter Houghton trying to keep it himself left side. He will go into a pile at about the 2 and then get shoved backwards. Quade Young there, but the guy on the bottom of the pile lost his helmet earlier tonight. That was Isaiah Guru from Morrill. So it will be second and goal right on the 2-yard line where they mark it. Guru along with McIntosh. And Keegan Benson, the 3 defensive linemen, and now the East All-Stars might need a timeout here. Checking the play clock. Nope, all good. This is Houghton, right side, and Hunter Houghton is in for the touchdown. Three possessions, 3 touchdowns. This time, no celebration. We can only celebrate on the first 2. That's the rule here tonight. So just back to the huddle, and let's go for 2. You know, because the celebration, clearly the coaches are going to say, you know what, we're not doing that again next year because our guys failed on both 2-point conversions. Otten, again, in the pistol will keep it right side. Has a blocker in front, puts his head down, and he's got it. 2-point run, finally good for the East All-Stars. And it is all East right now, 20-0 East. 8:36 to go here in the first half. A commercial break, and back in Hastings after this.
Go get it, Zach!
Truck Center Companies, keeping America's truck industry on the road.
Thanks for joining us again tonight on Striv Sports coverage of the 43rd edition of the Sertoma 8-Man All-Star Classic. A reminder that the 8-Man Football Coaches Association will be inducting another Hall of Fame class coming up at halftime, and we will show you all of those distinguished gentlemen and their accomplishments. It is quite the class again. I think this is the 5th or 6th year that the Hall of Fame has been around, so it's a wonderful opportunity to recognize players, coaches, and contributors to the game of 8-man football in the state of Nebraska. Speaking of a contributor to the 8-man game of football in the state of Nebraska, one guy is not here tonight. Huskerland Bob Jensen, thinking about the wife. Hey, hope everything comes out good there. But, Bob, we miss you. We need you in Hastings next year, man. Again, a short kickoff. This one going to be fielded and a little run back as across the 40-yard line to the 43. That one was taken, I think Brian Turek was on that return. And so 1st and 10 for the West from their own 43-yard line. So it is a net 0 of total offense right now for the West. They have gone 8 yards and a turnover on downs and negative 8 yards and punted on their first 2 possessions of the game. It shoots back at quarterback, and he has got some seam. He has got a run, and he is just tripped up by Sutton Pullman, but far and away the biggest play of the day for the West offense, taking it from 143. That's 7 yards to midfield, and another 10 is 17, and let's call it a 19-yard run for Schutz. And the first down of the ball game. And a little dance in and out. That's Serbanio Diaz from Dundee County Stratton. Dances out inside the 20-yard line, and it's back-to-back first down carries for the West. That is another 19 yards. So 19 and 19, and you only got 18 left to go for the West. Diaz and Schutz in the backfield. And it will be Schutz Carrying it near side, looking for the edge. Fights off a tackle at about the 12 and puts it down to the 4-yard line. Connor shoots from Elwood. Of course, last fall playing as Highline with Eustis Farnham. And it is 1st and goal. How about 3 first downs? And a timeout for the East. They want to talk things over as the West motoring right down the field. A quick break, and we'll come back after this.
Midland's mission is to inspire people to learn and lead in the world with purpose.
Back here at Hastings College, it has always be a good time to be at A.H. Jones Stadium on the campus of the Hastings College Broncos, the Osborne Family Sports Complex. East and West, 20-0 right now. East, but the West knocking on the door with Connor Schultz at quarterback. Serbandio Diaz at running back. He goes in motion, does Diaz, and it's a quick snap to the fullback. And no signal yet, so it is a short gain. Be 2nd and goal. That was Kyle Sterup, I believe, of Osceola. No, Sterup in on the tackle. Drahota had the carry. So Drahota will line up as the up back. Almost a single wing look here. Oh, this is nice. Handed off Diaz, scoots to the outside. Serbandio Diaz scoring for the West All-Stars. And now the West celebrating. Are we going to row a boat? Oh, the Titanic.
Rowing into the end zone.
What is this game if not a ton of fun? The West All-Star Serbandio Diaz of Dundee County Stratton scoring for the West. And now for the conversion. East All-Stars, 1 for 3. That's the first attempt, obviously, for the West. That's Reimers in the shotgun. He will fake a handoff and also have a penalty flag. An illegal procedure against the West. Schute's going to go back out for quarterback. Marcus Shear with a gigantic sneeze that you couldn't possibly not hear on the air. So move it back to the 8. Fake a handoff. Schutz looking for the edge, but tracked down from behind. That was a really good tackle across the way from Austin Juergens of Diller Odell. So the conversion fails, but points on the board. The West is on with a 1-yard touchdown run from Serbandio Diaz. 7:20 to go, first half. We'll be back to Hastings after this.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard gives me a lot of opportunities. I have the ability to serve close to home, wherever that may be in the volunteer state. It also provides tuition benefits, making it possible to get the education I've always wanted. And since my service is part-time, I can pursue my dream job in the career field I choose. With part-time service in the Army National Guard, I really can have it all.
Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
The West on the board Serbandio Diaz with a 1-yard touchdown run to make it 20-6. 7:20 to go here in the first half. A reminder that the 8-man Hall of Fame induction class will be recognized at halftime. We'll see all of that here from Hastings as well. Ruben Rentschler from West Holt has it teed up at his own 40-yard line. Isaac Noyd, Dalton Kleinschmidt back deep, and that was touched inbounds by Pullman, so out of bounds at their own 28-yard line. And that is where the East will have it 1st and 10. So this the worst starting field position of the game, actually, for the East All-Stars. Started at their own at the West 49, the West 47, their own 42 on the previous 3 drive. It has not stopped them yet. 3 for 3 possessions to touchdowns. Hunter Houghton back at quarterback from Johnson County Central for the East All-Stars. He will fake a handoff, carry it himself up the middle, and gets just across the 20-yard line. Clayton Detlefs from Arcadia Loop City in on the stop, along with Keith Miller from Lawrence Nelson. That's Noyd in motion. Again, fake the handoff. Houghton will keep it again. He will get to about the 35-yard line. Tackle made by Jaden Scott. Called his names a few times from Arcadia Loop City. Third and 3 coming up here. 6:18 to go in the opening half. Sutton Pullman, 2 possessions ago, had the big 47-yard touchdown catch. He's near side, but Houghton looking left the whole way, but short and through the hands of Isaac Noyd, and that, if the East does in fact punt, is going to be their first 3 and out of the ball game. Kick down the near sideline, lands out of bounds. The punt there from Jackson Beathy of Exeter Milligan. Exeter Milligan Friend, the football team, headed up by Dean Philippi for the last 2 seasons, 3 seasons actually. So from their own 33, the West will take over. Plenty of time, 5:53 to go. And this looks like Carson Reimers at quarterback. And they will hand it back, a little halfback pass, trying to get something deep, and it is caught on the far side by Ruben Rentschler. Big play for the West All-Stars. Just the 4th first down of the game for the West All-Stars, but it was Julian Hearn that lined that thing up and got it down there to Rentschler, who was able to haul it in. Now Turek is the running back, and Bryan will carry it off the right side, lowers his shoulder, and is popped down there by Lance Proprotsky of Clarkson Lee. Those Clarkson Lee fellas. There was a time that the only time they touched it in an 8-man All-Star game, they were scoring touchdowns. About 5-6 years ago, Chris Konachek had 3 catches for touchdowns. That matched a All-Star game record. The next year, there was a fumble recovery. It was some fun stuff there for a while. This is Diaz on a toss sweep. Tackled shy of the 25-yard line. Pullman came up along with Kleinschmidt, and it will be 3rd down and about 5 yards to go for the West. Still plenty of time, 5:18 and counting here in the first half.
Carries down to the 26-yard line, brings up 3rd down, 3rd and 5.
Turek will be the wing on the far side. Reimers in the pistol. Fake it back. Reimers back to his right, looking to throw it over the middle, and it is incomplete. And now we've got extracurriculars. And we will see how the officials handle this one.
One briefly, and then we'll go back to 2 as soon as they actually see it. Ford, you want to zoom in on the flags and slowly zoom out? Ford must not be able to hear me. Ford, you can talk back to me if you put your boot in your microphone.
Now these guys, competitors at the highest levels, sometimes even in an all-star game. We get a little too over-aggressive. We have offsetting, unsportsmanlike conducts. And the play, since it was after the play will stand, and so it will be 4th down and 5 yards to go for the West All-Stars.
Zoom in on the players there on defense. Zoom in on defense. Back to wide.
Reimers with Diaz in the backfield. That's Rentschler to the bottom. And Reimers chucking this one for the end zone, and it's Sutton Pullman who wisely knocks it away. Doesn't intercept it, knocks it away, and actually saves a little field possession. So a turnover on downs after the initial big play. 30-yard pitch and catch to start the drive, but nothing from there. And the East will take over with 4:52 to go from their own 26. And coming out near side, that's Clayton Detlefs holding that right shoulder. Clayton in on that tackle. And a nice tackle coming up. Serbanio Diaz playing defense that time. As Sims carried it. Excuse me, that was not Diaz. Yeah, it was Diaz. Got a little help also from Grant Winklebauer. And so it is 3rd and 10. So after the East motored up and down the field on their first 3 possessions, A grand total of 6 yards so far on their last 2 possessions. Sutton Pullman split near side for the East. That seems in the shotgun. Drops back. Now he has to evade a rush. Now looking for an open field, and he is going to be right near, and I think he's got a first down carry. Keith Miller finally able to wrestle him down along with Winklebauer. Jaden Scott was over there as well, but a nice scramble by Cole Seams and a first down.
Carry is out to the 37-yard line. That's good for an East first down.
Take 4 here on 4. And back to wide now. On wide.
Now split out to the bottom of your screen. Austin Forney from Humphrey St. Francis seems rolling this side. He wants Forney deep down the field, but threw it over the top of everybody. Defense was provided by Jeffrey Schmeitz from Riverside. Second down and 10 to go. Reminder at halftime, Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Toss sweep on the carry. That's Forney. Ushered out of bounds after a short gain. It will be third down and about 7 to go. Winklebauer was over there along with Miller. Jaden Scott as well. 3rd and 7 here. Seems in the shotgun. 4 guys blocking. Has pressure, though, and from behind, he will not evade their rush. On the sack, it's Bryce McIntosh of Mullen. Loss of 1 on the play. 4th and 8 upcoming. McIntosh with that roll to the right. The offensive line was blocking to the right, so McIntosh essentially unblocked and got to Seams before Seams could get rid of it. Jackson Beathy to punt for the East. Really high hanging, going to the far side over there. Jaden Scott was the return guy back deep, but this was bounced around, and it will be downed by the East All-Stars. So the West will take over. .2:26 to go here in the first half. The West's only score, a 1-yard touchdown run by Serbanio Diaz. He has the carry, knifes right up the middle, and you can see what made him a 5,000-yard career rusher for the Tigers. And Coach Mike Spargo, it is a ball of fury diving into that line. Good 6.5 yards on that one. Brian Turek checks into the backfield. Connor Schutz from Elwood, the quarterback. Pressure right away. Schutz avoids 1. Now we'll loft it deep down the field. It's a jump ball situation, and a penalty flag is coming down. Kleinschmidt was on the defense. Trying to come back for it was Julian Hearn. Hearn did a good job just kind of standing there and letting Kleinschmidt come into him. And the penalty will result in a 15-yard first down. Pass interference on the defense is the call.
15-yard penalty brings the ball down inside the 41-yard line on the 40. That's good for a West first down, 1st and 10 West from the 40-yard line.
And again, if there's a breeze, it is at the backs of the West All-Stars. Out of the South, Schultz fakes the handoff to Diaz that time and is corralled. Actually did well to get back to the original line of scrimmage and actually pick up a few. Kyle Stirrup from Osceola. Of course, back in 2019, Osceola and High Plains, they're 1 year together winning a D1 championship over Burwell. Coach Luke Gideon and those Longhorns, they have been to Memorial Stadium and even hosted then last fall a championship game, but been a while since they've gotten all the way over the hump. Schutz was not down there. He was on top of the defender, trying to get up and keep going. Starrup finally pulls him down. And it will be 3rd down and about 9 to go as we are under a minute to go here in this first half. Diaz in the backfield. Runchler, the receiver near side, shoots, steps up, well, doesn't pull the trigger. Now looking near side, that's Diaz, but in and out of the hands. That would have been first down yardage. And instead it will bring up 4th down with 21 seconds to go here in the half. And it looks like the West and Coach Jordan Haas will be punting this one away. This is going to be a nice kick, bounding inside the 5 and is downed at the 1. What a beautiful kick and great coverage down there for the West All-Stars. Jaden Scott came sliding in there and put that thing down right at the 1-yard line. So a great job there by Jaden, and with 10 seconds left, the East will get a snap. But they got to go at least forward. Can't afford to go backwards at all. And before we do anything, a timeout. Make sure everybody's on the same page. A reminder to coming up at halftime, the Nebraska 8-Man Football Coaches Association Hall of Fame induction class will be announced. 15 very deserving honorees. In fact, we have already had one Hall of Fame announcement. You saw that earlier tonight. For the past 43 years, the Chorus of the Plains has sung the national anthem at this game. And so before they sang tonight, the Nebraska 8-Man Football Coaches Association inducted the Chorus of the Plains into their Hall of Fame as contributors. And well-deserved. It is always fun to listen to the chorus for our national anthem. So probably one snap here to go in the first half. Seams will go under center. It is just a quarterback sneak, although Seams does slip out of there, and he will pick up a first down. And they will wind it, and that will be your first half of play. It is the East 20 and the West 6 through 24 minutes of football. 8-Man Football Coaches Association Hall of Fame induction ceremony is coming up next.
Truck Center Companies, keeping America's truck industry on the road.
Midland's mission is to inspire people to learn and lead in the world with purpose.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard gives me a lot of opportunities. I have the ability to serve close to home, wherever that may be in the volunteer state. It also provides tuition benefits, making it possible to get the education I've always wanted. And since my service is part-time, I can pursue my dream job in the career field I choose. With part-time service in the Army National Guard, I really can have it all.
Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
It's thanks to you that we're where we are today. We're proud to watch these communities grow because they're our communities too. Our neighbors, our friends. It's where we live. These are all our hometowns. And no matter what, the people who will continue to serve your needs with the hometown support you know and trust are just down the street. Cornerstone Bank. Growing together.
Corey was dominant on both sides of the ball for the Panthers' 1985 state runner-up team and was selected first team all-conference, first team all-state, and named Conference Athlete of the Year. He was also selected to play in both the 8-man All-Star and Western Nebraska All-Star games. Corey then moved to a stellar college career at Chadron State, where he became the Eagles' all-time leading tackler and was recognized as a first-team All-American linebacker in 1990. Since that time, he has been named to the Chadron All-Century team and the Chadron State Athletic Hall of Fame. The Nebraska 8-Man Football Coaches Association is honored to welcome Corey into the 8-Man Hall of Fame. Eugene Busboom from Adams High School. Gene was a standout player for the Hornets and Hall of Fame coach Ken Cook. His dominance on both sides of the ball helped carry his teams to 4 consecutive undefeated seasons and a historic 43-game winning streak. Gene was instrumental in helping build the premier 8-man football dynasty of the 70s, and he never lost a high school football game during that time. He was selected first-team all-conference, first-team all-state on multiple occasions, and was named the 1977 8-Man Player of the Year. Then in 1978, Gene was also selected to play in the very first 8-Man All-Star game. The 8-Man Football Coaches Association is honored to welcome him into the class of 2021. Josh Cobb from Wallace High School. Josh was a generational talent for his hometown Wildcats. He led Wallace to 3 state football appearances and set school records in both rushing and scoring. He was named first team All-Area, first team All-Conference, first team All-State on 2 occasions, and was later named to the All-Decade team of the 1990s by Huskerland Prep Report. Josh was also selected to play in the 1994 Shrine Bowl and then play for the University of Nebraska, where he was a 2-time letter winner and a member of 3 national championship teams. The Nebraska 8-Man Football Coaches Association is honored to welcome Josh Cobb into the class of 2021. Coach Jim Cole from Hayes Center High School. From 1980 to 2007, Jim compiled a spectacular 211 wins for the Cardinals, while leading 19 of his teams to the state playoffs. 4 of them reached the state semifinals. Jim was honored as an assistant coach at the 1994 All-Star Game, and in 1999 served as a head coach of the West team. Coach Cole retired after the 2007 season, but he now fondly looks back at the number of his former players that went on to become coaches in southwest Nebraska. The Nebraska 8-Man Football Coaches Association is honored to welcome Coach Jim Cole into the Hall of Fame class of 2021. Chris Darnell from Fall City Sacred Heart High School. Chris was a standout player for Hall of Fame coach Doug Goltz and was never on the losing side of the scoreboard during his high school career. He played a part in 4 consecutive state championships for the Irish and was selected first team All-Conference, first team All-State, and was also named the 1993 Multisport Athlete of the Year. After high school, he was selected to play in both the Nebraska Shrine Bowl and the 8-man All-Star game. Chris then went on to play college football at Northern Colorado and Peru State. Nebraska 8-Man Football Coaches Association is honored to welcome Chris Darnell to the class of 2021. Wade Edis from Mullen High School. Wade rewrote the Mullen record books while playing for Hall of Fame coach Mike Brown, and he led the Broncos to their first ever state football title in 1990. During his prep career, he was selected first team All-Conference and first team All-State multiple times, and was also honored as the 8-man Offensive Player of the Year in 1990. After high school, Wade was also selected to play in the 1991 8-man All-Star game and the Western Nebraska All-Star game. The Nebraska 8-Man Football Coaches Association is honored to now welcome Wade Edis into the Hall of Fame, class of 2021. Larry Frost from Malcolm High School. Larry set national high school records while scoring 121 touchdowns as a do-all player for the Clippers in the early 1960s. He earned first-team All-State honors and was also named the 8-Man Player of the Year. In 1965, he also became the first 8-man player to earn Player of the Game honors in the Nebraska Shrine Bowl. Larry then went on to become a 4-year letter winner running back for the University of Nebraska. After college, he, alongside his wife Carol, dedicated over 40 years of his life to coaching Nebraska high school football. Coach Frost was previously inducted into the High School Hall of Fame, and now the Nebraska 8-Man Football Coaches Association is honored to induct Larry Frost into the 8-Man Football Hall of Fame as well. His honor being picked up by his wife Carol. Paul Kuchera from Lawrence High School. Paul was a dominating force for the powerful Lawrence teams of the early 1980s. He led his team to the state finals 3 times in his career, and in 1982, he helped the Panthers win the Class D2 state championship. Paul finished his career with over 300 tackles and 50 tackles for loss, and was chosen first team All-Conference, first team All-State, and was also selected to play in the 1983 8-man All-Star game. After high school, Paul played on the defensive line for Kearney State College, where he was an all-conference selection in both 1986 and 1987. The Nebraska 8-Man Football Coaches Association is honored to welcome Paul Kuchera into the class of 2021. Lance Lundberg from Wausau High School. Lance led the Vikings to the state playoffs for the first time in school history in 1988 and went on to be named first team All-Conference, first team All-Class All-State, and was also selected to play in the Nebraska Shrine Bowl. He then played at the University of Nebraska, where he was a member of an offensive line unit alongside Ken Malin and Jim Scott. That featured 3 8-man Hall of Fame players. Lance also played in 3 Orange Bowls for the Cornhuskers, including the 1993 National Championship. Later in 1994, he was drafted by the NFL's New Orleans Saints. The Nebraska 8-Man Football Coaches Association is honored to now welcome Lance Lundberg into the 8-Man Football Hall of Fame class of 2021. Coach Kevin Malberg from Elwood High School. Kevin dedicated 35 years of his life to coaching football in Elwood. During that span, his Pirate teams qualified for the state playoffs 20 times, 3 of those teams making it to the semifinals. His career record totaled a stout 209 wins, and Kevin was honored over the years as both an assistant and a head coach of the 8-Man All-Star game. Although Coach Malberg helped mold numerous players throughout the years, he will be best known by both players and peers alike for the friendships that were built along the way. Nebraska 8-Man Football Coaches Association is honored to welcome Coach Kevin Malberg into the 8-Man Football Hall of Fame class of 2020-2021. Carl Ostrand from Ansley High School. Carl was an outstanding player for Hall of Fame coach Dan Moore. He led the Warriors to 2 state runner-up finishes and the 1986 state title, and was named First Team All-Conference, First Team All-State, and was selected for the 1988 8-Man All-Star Game, where he was named Most Valuable Offensive Player. After graduating college, Carl went on to become a successful 8-man coach, and his goal has been to use the game of football to develop young men for the future that will lead their families and their communities with integrity. The Nebraska 8-Man Football Coaches Association is honored to welcome Coach Carl Ostrand into the class of 2021. Andrew Shanley from St. Edward High School. In high school, Andrew was selected First Team All-Area, First Team All-State, and was selected to play in both the Shrine Bowl and the 8-Man All-Star Game. He then moved on to a standout career as a defensive back for the University of Nebraska, where he became a member of the renowned Black Shirt Defense. After college, he signed with the New York Giants and was a member of the 2008 Super Bowl 42 champions. Andrew has gone on to become a successful high school football coach in the state of Texas, and the Nebraska 8-Man Football Coaches Association is honored to welcome him into the Hall of Fame class of 2021. Andrew Shanley. Scott Shanley from St. Edward High School. In his final 3 seasons, Scott led the Beavers to 3 state football playoff appearances and a 39-3 record. He was selected All-Conference, First Team All-State, and was named the 1997 Player of the Year. He was also selected to play in the 8-Man All-Star Game and the Nebraska Shrine Bowl. Scott then went on to a highly successful college career at the University of Nebraska and later played 10 seasons in the NFL. While with the New Orleans Saints, he was named the 2008 Defensive MVP and finished as the franchise's 8th all-time leader in tackles. Scott was also a key defender in helping the Saints defeat the Indianapolis Colts in Super Bowl 44. The Nebraska 8-Man Football Coaches Association is honored to welcome Scott Shanley into the 8-Man Hall of Fame class of 2021. Coach Andy Verbka from High Plains High School. Andy is entering his 5th decade of promoting the game of 8-man football. He began his career as a player for Hall of Fame coach John O'Brien at Shelby High School in 1976. Since that time, he has served 8-man players, coaches, and communities in our state as a head football coach for 22 years, a Nebraska Football Coaches Association officer for 20 years, and now as Sertoma liaison for the All-Star Game. As a coach, Andy took his teams to the playoffs 13 times and twice made it to the state semifinals. During his career, he was selected as an All-Star coach in both 1996 and 2003. Andy retired from coaching in 2008, but his contributions to our game continue to this very day. The Nebraska 8-Man Football Coaches Association is honored to welcome Coach Andy Verbka to his rightful place in the 8-Man All-Star Football Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Fame.
Truck Center Companies, keeping America's truck industry on the road.
Midland's mission is to inspire people to learn and lead in the world with purpose.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard gives me a lot of opportunities. I have the ability to serve close to home, wherever that may be in the volunteer state. It also provides tuition benefits, making it possible to get the education I've always wanted. And since my service is part-time, I can pursue my dream job in the career field I choose. With part-time service in the Army National Guard, I really can have it all.
Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
It's thanks to you that we're where we are today. We're proud to watch these communities grow because they're our communities too. Our neighbors, our friends. It's where we live. These are all our hometowns. And no matter what, the people who will continue to serve your needs with the hometown support you know and trust are just down the street. Cornerstone Bank, growing together.
Pump up your day.
Pump up my day.
Pump up my days.
Pump up my day. Pumpin' Pantry is celebrating 50 years of serving Nebraska with special offers and prize entries every time you use your rewards card. Earn a 1-cent fuel bonus when you buy 3 28-ounce Gatorades. Sign up for Pumped Up Rewards today and join the celebration.
Pump up your day at Pumpin' Pantry.
Back here in Hastings and 12 minutes back on the clock. Third quarter action for the 43rd edition of the Sertoma 8-Man All-Star Classic. The East leading the West 20-6. East offense 183 yards of total offense, most coming in the first 3 drives, which was 3 touchdowns on those opening possessions for the East. But finally an answer for the West, a 57-yard touchdown drive that was capped off by Servando Diaz with a 1-yard touchdown run, making it 20-6. Had a lot of good defense after that. The biggest drive went 41 yards, and that was about a 30-yard pass in there. But we are ready for the second half of play. East kicking to the west. This is a live ball fielded, and then skipping out of bounds is Serbanio Diaz. It will be 1st and 10 for the West All-Stars from their own 32-yard line.
West All-Stars take over 1st and 10 on their own.
13 first downs for the East, and again, most of those racked up on those first 3 possessions of the ball game. And then, like we said, both defenses really settled in after that. The West alternating quarterbacks, the East as well. Carson Reimers will get the start here in the second half with Diaz in the backfield and a receiver split out to each way. This will be Diaz spinning through the middle of the defense. Tackle made by Del Castile. He was tabbed a captain of the East All-Stars along with Kyle Ardisono of BDS and Brandon Beeson of Tri-County. Captains for this year's West squad included Connor Schutz of Elwood, Clayton Detlefs of Arcadia Loop City, Isaiah Guru of Morrill, Trevor Cargill of Central Valley. Another captain, by the way, for the East All-Stars was Sutton Pullman of Stanton. This is 2nd and 8. That is Kobe Heitman that was in motion. Reimers passing, far side, incomplete. The high fastball missing its intended target. Jesse Drahota of Ravenna wearing 52 in today's game. We'll bring up 3rd and 7. Cade Safranek, the tight end on the near side for the West All-Stars, stays in to block, though. Reimers has to step up, had a lot of pressure right away, and he's not going to make it to the first down stakes. Jake Gibbs from Brownell Talbot was in the backfield, along with Austin Jurgens from Diller Odell, and that will be a 3 and out on the opening possession. And so the West will be looking to punt. Sutton Pullman back to receive. Ruben Rentschler's punt. Good snap. Rentschler with a spiral hanging on the near side. That will land out of bounds, though. And they will mark it right at the 37-yard line. Dante Bullhauer with some dynamite photos that you can check out a little bit later tonight on our Striv Sports Twitter and Facebook pages. Had a great one of Brandon Beeson on there from halftime. So 1st and 10 for the East All-Stars. This will be Cole Seams of Tri-County, the quarterback. Pullman split out to the far side. Castile, the fullback, a little wing on the near side. This is Seams the whole way near side, and he is wrapped up quickly. Diaz came up from a corner spot. Also got help from Hunter Mayfield of Burwell. Came down the line from the defensive end, and no yardage on that one. Beeson coming in for the East All-Stars. Been a tight end here on this near side. Pullman, the tight end on the far side. Isaac Noyd from Cross County dots the I formation. But they will hand it off to the fullback. And another good tackle by Hunter Mayfield. So the big fella from Burwell making an impact to start this second half. Just 1 yard on the carry there by Castile. Seams throws it out right side. Wide receiver screen. And it's Sutton Pullman. He is pulled down, though, before the first down marker. Jaden Scott on the tackle. It will be 4th and 1.
Carry is out to the 46-yard line. Brings up 4th down. 4th and 1.
And this is going to be go for it as Noyd goes in motion. Now Seams will check the sideline. Play clock winding down. And this is going to be a first down carry. And look at Cole Seams. Far sideline. Seams is going to go all the way. Touchdown, Cole Seams. 54 yards. On 4th and 1. Second touchdown accounted for tonight for Cole Seams. Run in the middle there was actually a fumble into the end zone that Diaz was able to fall on. And that will bring us to a stoppage. 8:10 to go in the third quarter, and the East has opened up their lead 26-6 over the West. A short timeout, and we will be back to Hastings right after this.
Go get it, Zach!
Truck Center Companies, keeping America's truck industry on the road.
Cole Seams, a 54-yard touchdown run on 4th and 1. Not a bad way to get your team going, as that breeze freshening and has actually switched around a little bit, about now almost out of the east. It had been predominantly out of the south. Some thunderstorms expected later on tonight. Don't know if it will, don't think it will impact the game at all. Nice return going here for Jaden Scott down the far side. Finally wrangled out of bounds across the 25-yard line. So a nice job there by Scott. Something else that it occurs to me as we are going with that kickoff return. Normally, that kickoff would have been through the back of the end zone on a regular 8-man field. But, yeah, that's a 50-yard kick. You got to get it through to the goal line for this on the 11-man field. So, yeah, that was able to be fielded and played. So Shoots and the West All-Stars trailing by 20. Back at it now. They want some razzle-dazzle, and the ball is dropped as they were trying to go a little receiver pass, but Julian Hearn dropped it. He was able to fall on it, but does so back at the 21-yard line, 22-yard line, I should say.
To the 22-yard line. Brings up second down. 2nd and 15.
Shoots in the shotgun. Will hand it off, and this is a nice big run right up the middle. This is Jesse Drahota Finally wrangled out of bounds by Sutton Pullman, but Drahota with the biggest run of the ball game for the West All-Stars into East territory to the 48-yard line.
Into East territory down to the 48-yard line. That's good for a West first down.
Brian Turek, the running back now, behind Schutz. Turek will get it near side. He's got a nice hole. He's got a first down.
Ball carried by Brian Turek.
Back-to-back first down runs for the West All-Stars, finding a little bit of seams now in that East defense. Jake Gibbs checking out real quick on the far side for the East defense. This is Diaz trying the middle. East squad ready for that one. Kyle Sterup collapsing things down along with Austin Juergens along that defensive front. Peyton Weisler getting a little breather. In comes Del Castile back into the ball game. He replaces Jared Drake from Elmwood Murdoch. The pickup for Diaz was 1. It's 2nd and 9. And this is Drahota back in the backfield. And it will be Schutz, though, instead making the carry. And he's got a little help in the backfield. And then the East rallies to the football. The first guy in the backfield for the East All-Stars was Austin Juergens from Diller Odell. He really made Schutz dance around for a while, and while he was dancing, here came the rest of the East defense. Castile got in on that. I think Pullman came up, and it's a loss, and it will bring up 3rd down and 11 to go. They will mark the ball just across the 20 or 35-yard line. Schutz sends Turek in motion back to the left side. This catch and the run still on his feet. Julian Hearn, and he's got a first down. Swung out of bounds across the far side, but a first down carry on the wide receiver screen for Julian Hearn.
Hearn taken out of bounds by Dustin Kleinschmidt.
Dalton Kleinschmidt on the tackle. And 1st and 10, 3rd first down of the drive for the West. Trying to get things cooking, and an answer from the East. Diaz in the backfield. Option play near side. Big blocks. Diaz has an edge. Puts his head down, and he slips inside the 10 and down to the 9. That will be another first down for the West. So fast to the edge. Serbandio Diaz from Dundee County Stratton. First and goal for the West. Diaz comes out. Got a nice little rhythm going with Drahota as well as Jesse checks back in. Schutz will hand it off. Drahota right up the middle. Touchdown, West. Jesse Drahota from 9 yards out. $73 yards on the touchdown drive that time. And Carson Reimers was like, I think we're playing with 7 out here. He sure is. 5 in front of him. Drahota in front, and he was number 7. It's an 8-man game, fellas. And so a timeout for Coach Jordan Haas, and Jeff Schmeitz of Riverside's like, well, I'll go out there if you need somebody. Brian Turek also out there, but yeah, they'll send Turek in and Schmeitz out. So the conversion attempt, first touchdown of the game for Drahota. it will be Turek joining Reimers in the backfield. Option. Oh, they'll fling it forward on the option, and it's Drahota with a catch. How about that? Looked like speed option, and instead Drahota slipped into the end zone, and it was a forward lateral. That was a heck of a play, and it's 26-14. A break, and Hastings returns after this on Striv TV.
Go get it, Zach!
Thanks for joining us tonight on Striv TV's coverage of the 8-Man All-Star Classic. My name is Eric Allgan, an All-Star crew along with us here tonight. Feels a lot like a family reunion for the All-Star game. Past players, coaches, mingling, and the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic lessening by the day, which is awesome. Allows us to get back to more normal things. It's been a while, hasn't it? Of course, this game got postponed once last summer and then got canceled altogether in July. They were able to play the Shrine Bowl last July. This game was going to be on the schedule for the following week, and then more COVID-19 cases came up in around the Hastings area, and the organizers said, you know what, it is going to be best to just not have this one this year. And hopefully everyone has stayed as safe as possible, but it does seem like perhaps there is some light at the end of the tunnel. This game is a 12-point lead for the East with the West about to kick off. Short squib kick rolling down the near sideline, and Isaac Noyd wisely lets it go out of bounds. That will be the procedure. So options for the East. You want to take it at the 22-yard line. You want to have a re-kick. Where would you like the football?
Procedure on the out-of-bounds kick. The ball is spotted at the 35-yard line. That's where the East All-Stars take over 1st and 10 on their own 35.
.246 yards unofficially, net yards for the East offense. And it looks like the East offense is going to take the ball at the 35-yard line, as one of their options did let them. Hunter Houghton from Johnson County Central mans the quarterback position. Looks to his right, steps up, avoids one tackle. Finally just goes forward. A little pile gets pushed out to the 40-yard line.
Ball was carried by Hunter Houghton.
Bryce McIntosh in on the tackle. 5 yards there for Houghton. 2nd and 5 upcoming. Man in motion out there, and with the ball is Forney. And Austin Forney from Humphrey St. Francis has a first down as he crosses the 45, gets it to the 46-yard line.
Ball carried by Austin Forney. Taken out of bounds by Bryce McIntosh. Carry is down to the 46-yard line.
I know we've got air conditioning on in here, but man, it feels really nice, doesn't it? Not in the camera bay. No, it's a little warmer over there. You guys need to shut your door. That keeps some of that cool air in there. Houghton under center. And guy's going the wrong way in the backfield. And that was a big old tackle by Hunter Mayfield. Hunter got a little high there on the other Hunter, Houghton that is, but clean tackle and a loss back to the 42-yard line. Castile and Houghton got mixed up on the footwork there just a little bit. And that let Mayfield come knifing through there from a defensive line position. So second down, 14 to go from the 42. Noyd goes in motion, fake the handoff. Houghton will keep it back just shy of the original line of scrimmage, so he gained about 3.5 back. Smites in on the tackle. Mayfield there as well. Going to bring up 3rd and 11 for the East All-Stars. Houghton rolling to his left, pressure right away, can't get rid of it. Big time hit from the backside there. That was Bryce McIntosh with the sack once again, his second sack of the game. Boy, if you're going to roll away from McIntosh, you might still want to block somebody back there. And so that will bring on Jackson Beathy to punt for the East All-Stars. Jaden Scott back to receive. Beathy gets off a wobbling spiral that will hit the field turf and go forward pretty well. Sutton Pullman will tag it down at the 25-yard line.
Punt was by Jackson Beathy. Down at the 25-yard line. That's where the West All-Stars will take over on their own 25.
So the West will have it, trailing 26-14, and a chance to make this thing interesting coming up. So 1st and 10 for the West from their own 25. And a penalty flag as that snap gets going.
Ball carried by Servano Diaz. Kyle Sturf in on the tackle. There was an illegal procedure call against the West.
And 5 yards back against the West. This is another nice run from the Ravenna Blue Jay, and it's a first down carry. Wearing 52, it's throwing me off a little bit. Jesse Drahota with the carry all the way out to the 37-yard line. Drahota, last time the West had it, capped off the 73-yard touchdown drive with a 9-yard touchdown run. This is Turek. Wrapped up quickly there by Kyle Sterup of Osceola. Turek gets 2 on the play, 2nd and 8 on the way as we approach a minute to go here in the third quarter. Diaz hit in the backfield, but bounces off one, evades two, wrangles his way forward, and he is going to be tackled on the far side by Kleinschmidt, but a nice run and another first down for Serbandio Diaz of Dundee County Stratton. And I tell you, the West has found some footing on the 1-2 combo of Diaz and Drahota. With Schutz at quarterback, too. 50 seconds, perhaps a snap or two to go here in the third period. Diaz comes out. Julian Hearn is split to the bottom of your screen. And Schutz looking that way. Hitch and go. Double coverage, but it's caught anyway. Hearn, touchdown for the West All-Stars. From 50 yards out. Julian Hearns burning down the near sideline, caught that thing in stride from Schutz. And a two-point conversion on the way to make this, well, it's already a one-score game, and in fact, we're going to kick for an extra point. Ruben Rentschler will be attempting the extra point kick. Good snap, good hold. The kick is good. So 29 seconds to go, third quarter. East 26, West 21. We will come back to Hastings in just a moment.
Midland's mission is to inspire people to learn and lead in the world with purpose.
First half that started with 4 touchdowns in the first 6 possessions of the game that turned into a defensive stalwart. Now in the second half, we start similar to the first half. Big plays, a 54-yard touchdown run for the East, a 9-yard run that caps a 73-yard drive for the West, and that one there, a 50-yard touchdown pass to Julian Hearns from Schutz. And the conversion kick by Rentschler makes it 26-21 with 29 seconds to go here in the third quarter. So these offenses heating up, just needed a little breather. That's all they needed. Rentschler with the kickoff. This one bouncing on the ground. Pullman will catch it on the run, and oh man, runs smack into a tackler, bounces off, and then goes forward for a couple of more. First guy down there was Brian Turek. Keith Miller also in on the tackle. So 1st and 10 for the East All-Stars from their own 38-yard line. Or their own 37, I should say.
24 seconds remaining in the third quarter of play.
Offense is piled up a little bit here for both teams. The West with 272 yards. The East 248 as they toss sweep it to Isaac Noyd. How they started this game was some good sweep action, strong side and weak side, and Noyd picks up about 6 on that play. Tackled on the far side by Serbandio Diaz. And that is most likely our final play of the third quarter. So, fourth and final 12 minutes of this one coming up. It is the East 26, the West 21. And we're back for the final 12 minutes from Hastings after this.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard gives me a lot of opportunities. I have the ability to serve close to home, wherever that may be in the volunteer state. It also provides tuition benefits, making it possible to get the education I've always wanted. And since my service is part-time, I can pursue my dream job in the career field I choose. With part-time service in the Army National Guard, I really can have it all.
Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Thanks to you that we're where we are today. We're proud to watch these communities grow because they're our communities too. Our neighbors, our friends. It's where we live. These are all our hometowns. And no matter what, the people who will continue to serve your needs with the hometown support you know and trust are just down the street. Cornerstone Bank. Growing together.
Julian Hearns, the 50-yard touchdown catch on the last possession, and now the East trying to regain some momentum. Their lead down to 5 and moving back to the south. Toss sweep, Brian Turek cutting back into the middle, stumbles a bit, but still finds some running room, and he's got a first down. Excuse me, that's not Turek. That's Dalton Kleinschmidt. Flip my roster over there. So Kleinschmidt carries for a couple, gets it to the 49-yard line. Isaiah Guru in on that tackle for the East. Noyd on the toss sweep, following blockers. Picks up a couple, but what a good job coming up there. Grant Winklebauer from St. Mary's comes up to make a sure tackle and holds that gain to just 4.
Along with Jaden Scott. 3-yard gain on the play brings up second down, 2nd and 7.
Noyd again dots the I. Castile, the fullback, Seams the quarterback. They want Castile on the fullback trap, and finally it goes for more than a 1. Gets plowed back by about 5 defenders, but Castile right near first down yardage. Bryce McIntosh from Mullen leading the defensive charge for the West. Also coming up on that one was Jaden Scott.
Brings up 3rd down, 3rd and 1.
Pullman, the tight end on the near side. Castile, the fullback. Noyd, the running back. It is 3rd and a half a yard for the East All-Stars as the West digs in. Just a quarterback sneak. Guru trying to pull back, but seems going to have enough for the first down.
Ball carried by Cole Sims. Tackle led by Clayton Douglas. Isaiah Guru on the tackle.
1st and 10. Hunter Houghton now in at quarterback. Houghton rolling to his left will just duck forward and then dance out of bounds in front of Grant Winklebauer.
Ball carried by Hunter Houghton. Taken out of bounds by Grant Winklebauer.
And to the 36-yard line, they will mark it. So about 3 on the carry there. Out of bounds, so the clock does stop. Seams back in, fakes the handoff. Cole will take it himself back to the left side. He's got a first down as he crosses inside the 29-yard line. 3rd first down of the drive for the East All-Stars. This drive started back on their own 37 and is moving right along.
Carries down to the 28-yard line. That's good for an East first down.
Noyd goes in motion. Isaac will get the handoff. Has a blocker in front. Can he shake the tackle? He cannot. really good open field tackle by Derek Goldenstein from Kennesaw. Boy, that's just one-on-one with a speedster, and Goldenstein handled it very well. Holds the, actually maybe lost a yard, did Noid on that carry, and it will be second down. Oh, I'm sorry, that was first down, so a gain of 2. That could have been much more, so still a good job by Goldenstein. Seams in the shotgun. Castile in front. Seams right up the gut. Has a nice little seam to run through and gets it inside the 20-yard line. It will bring up third and short.
Ball carried by Cole Sims. Carries down to the 19-yard line. Third down, 3rd and 1.
Bryce McIntosh back into the defensive front for the West. Moves Mayfield down to the nose guard spot. 3rd and 1. East All-Stars checking the play cards on their wrist. Seams in the shotgun, carrying it himself the whole way. Runs into the defense, though. Going to try to plow his way forward. I think he's going to have enough for a first down. He does. Boy, that was Sims just leaning forward despite getting a pretty good wallop from Jaden Scott. It's going to be the 4th first down of the drive for the East All-Stars. Clock winds with a little over 8 minutes to go in the ball game. Seems, well, Noid flinched, and yeah, Isaac might have been better off just going on in motion that time, but when he flinched and stopped, that's the procedure penalty. And again, our production team is an all-star cast. Directing tonight, Marcus Shear from Johnson County Central, Nathan Ladahoff from Sutton, our producer this evening. Inside handoff, that's Castile. And the ball comes free, but Pullman able to jump back on it for the East. And the clock will continue to wind. Holden Nodé and Hyatt Collins on our main cameras up top. Jake from Grand Island, not State Farm, and Damon from Grand Island on our field cameras. Thanks a lot, guys. Dante Bullhauer also down there on the sideline, along with Levi taking photos of tonight's games. 7 minutes to go. It's 2nd down and 14. Noid comes in motion. Fake the handoff. Seems back to his left. Rolls, throws. Pullman open. Caught it. Touchdown. Sutton Pullman, East All-Stars.
Pass is complete from Cole Sims to Sutton Pullman. Pullman with the touchdown.
Sutton Pullman with his 2nd touchdown catch. That one covers 23 yards. That is each guy's 2nd touchdown, passing or receiving, however it might have been. Seems carrying this the whole way to the left side, and he is stopped. So the defense holds on the conversion, but the touchdown is good. 32-21. Here with 6:51. That was a long touchdown drive for the East All-Stars, and it covered 63 yards in total. So 6:51 to go here in the 4th quarter, and we'll let Marcus Shear direct you to some sights and sounds.
That 19-yard pass from Cole Sims to Sutton Pullman capped a 63-yard scoring drive.
Kyle Ardisono has it teed up for the East All-Stars, who have just extended their lead back to a 2-possession lead. 6:51 to go in the fourth quarter. This one bounding along, fielded by one of the first-row guys. Good hands there by Quade Young, and gives his team good starting field position at their own 44. So down 2 possessions, but the last 2 times the West has had it, it's been touchdown drives. Unfortunately, they've both been answers or answered by the East. Connor shoots. Play action. Looking left. Winds it up. Throws it deep. Diaz is out there. Caught it. Big catch. Serbandio Diaz. First down for the West. All the way down to the 20-yard line.
Serbandio Diaz catches the ball. Tackle on the play by Dalton Kleinschmidt.
Diaz cramping up at the end of the play. Need some pickle juice down there quickly, please. 36 yards on the pitch and catch from Schultz to Diaz. Tonight's sideline view brought to you by StriveAV.com for your audio visual needs, including wireless HDMIs. They attach to cameras with short HDMI cables, and they give you some fun angles and things to play with. We have this a first football game we've got to take the wireless HDMI to. This is the training staff taking a look at Diaz there. But StriveAV.com has your audio-visual needs. Cameras, computers perhaps, capture devices. If you need to do a live stream, if you need to do a big old projection screen, we can help you out. Sorry, shameless plug for StriveAV.com. There's Damon right there on your screen. Yeah, wave, Damon. That's wireless camera shooting wireless camera too, by the way. 6:42 to go here in this fourth quarter. And Diaz getting help to his feet. Good to see. That's a little thumbs up back to his teammates. Good to see. Yeah, that was just indeed a little cramp at the end of that. It's still plenty warm. I know it feels really nice inside here for us, but still plenty warm outside. The lights shining bright here at A.H. Jones Stadium at Hastings College. Connor shoots in the shotgun. We'll hand it off to Drahota. And we'll pick up a couple as they are down inside the 20, down to around the 18-yard line.
Jared Drake in on the tackle.
Jared Drake in on the stop, along with Kyle Ardisono.
Carries down to the 18-yard line, 2nd and 8.
Shoots and Drahota in the backfield. Hearn split out to the right side. Fake the handoff, and this is Schutz running it back up the middle. He will have a couple there and get it inside the 15, down to about the 13-yard line.
Ball carried by Connor Schutz.
Pullman, Kleinschmidt, Sterup in on that tackle.
Third down, 3rd and 3.
Schutz rolling to his right on 3rd and 3. He lowers his shoulder in the big collision. Schutz wins it. Got over the top of the defender that time, Lance Poprotsky, and a first down.
Carries down to the 10-yard line.
And it will be first and goal.
First and goal from the 10.
For the West All-Stars. Drahota comes back in. Rentschler, the end on the near side. Brannick and Cargill. And Chet Wickman from Palmer, the 3 offensive linemen. Handed off to Drahota. He will do well to lean forward for a couple. He was hit quickly in the backfield. Wickman and Artisono have had quite the battle there, center and nose guard.
By Jesse Drahota. Del Castillo in on the tackle.
Castile also in on that tackle. We've called Dell's name plenty of times. Time beginning to be a little bit of the essence for the West, trailing by 2 scores and 4:40 to go here in the 4th quarter. Schutz directing his guys in the backfield. Safronic will be the tight end on the far side. Hearn in the slot to the left with Rentschler split wide left. Quick pass. It's Hearn in the flat. Got a block from Rentschler, and it's good for the touchdown. Big block from Rentschler. He likes it a lot. And Julian Hearn scoots into the end zone from 7 yards out. That's Julian's 2nd touchdown catch of the night. That is another touchdown pass for Schutz. He's got 2 of those. So 32-27. And an end around, and it's Hearn looking for a block. He's got it. He got another big one, and it's Rentschler who's done some kicking tonight. He has thrown some monster blocks on the edge the last couple of plays. Hearn with the run. And 4:23 to go. 4th quarter, it is East 32, West 29. Come back with us to Hastings after this.
Go get it, Zach!
Truck Center Companies, keeping America's truck industry on the road.
Julian Hearn, his 2nd touchdown catch of the night. Both of them from Connor Schutz. Hearn also runs in the conversion, and it's 32-29. We've got some interesting things going. This All-Star game the last few years, the West has dominated. 36-14, 38-20, 39-17, 34-22, and that was a late score back in 2019 to make it what ended up being a 2-possession game. But the West has kind of dominated this one. Far more interesting for the coaching staffs and players here at the end of this one. Rentschler will have it teed up. Nobody has kicked the ball deep, I think maybe just one time all night. Rentschler's not going to kick this one deep. Off one of the up guys and then falling down quickly with it. That was Anthony Isom from Allen.
Down right at the 40-yard line. That's where the East All-Stars take over. 1st and 10 from their own 40.
So the East All-Stars looking to salt this thing away. Isaac Noy deep in the backfield. He'll get the toss sweep. Blockers in front. Couple of yards, that's all the East wants at a time. Grant Winklebauer on the tackle. Called Grant's name a lot tonight. Trevor Cargill now will trot out for the West defense. And the chant of defense reigns from the West Pirates on the near side. And the East, you can be sure, will be milking the play clock. Cole Seams in the shotgun sends Isaac Noy to a wing on the right. Seams carrying it himself the whole way, lowers his head, leans forward, spins out of there, and he's got a first down.
Ball carried by Cole Sims. Jeffrey
Schmeitz in on the tackle from a safety spot.
Down to the 48-yard line. That's good for an East first down.
Sims again waiting on that play clock, watching the back judge. One hand up, and then the 5 count comes on. That's when he's ready to go. Sims will carry it over the left guard area for a couple of yards. 3 to be exact, 2nd and 7 on the way. We will be somewhere around 2.5 minutes at the next snap. And again, Sims waiting long for that play clock. Now goes under center. Noyd on the toss sweep. Lowers that shoulder in there. And now a little pushing after the fact. And a timeout has been called. So the West takes a timeout. So with 1:59 to go here in the fourth quarter, the East leading 32-29 in a very important 3rd and 4. We don't get to say important 3rd and 4 in June very often, right? But this one does feel like it's got a little bit like, I don't know, are we playing for stakes or something? Like, are we feeding everybody afterwards or only the winners? I don't know. These guys have definitely put on a show here today. Both offenses prior to this drive over 300 yards of total offensive net yards at least. So for sure some records out there to be had for some of these guys. You mentioned Schutz with 2 touchdown passes, Hearns with 2 touchdown catches for the West. Cole Seams has a 54-yard touchdown run and 2 touchdown passes, both of them to Sutton Pullman. They covered 47 in the first quarter and 23 here in this fourth quarter. So here you go, a 3rd down and a full 4 yards for the East All-Stars. Isaac Noyd is that wing on the far side of the offense right now. Cargill, Mayfield, Guru, that front defensive front for the West All-Stars. Winklebauer, McIntosh, the outside linebackers there rolled up. Schmeitz, a safety, rolled up. Keep your eye on Sutton Pullman. He's the tight end on the near side of the field for the East All-Stars. Brandon Beeson is the tight end on the far side. Noyd in motion. Fake it. Sims right up the middle. Cole Seams, he's got a first down. He's going to have a touchdown. Cole Seams from 42 yards away.
Cole Sims carries in for the East touchdown.
his second touchdown run of the game. Seams has covered 54 and 42 on his touchdown runs. And that one probably seals things up. A 9-point lead right now for the East All-Stars, and Seams in the shotgun for the 2-point run as well. Dances in, bounces out, he's got it.
Extra point run is good by Cole Sims.
40-29 and breathing room now for the East with 2:06 to play here in the fourth quarter.
A 42-yard touchdown run by Cole Sims capped a 60-yard touchdown drive. Took a little over 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
After some strong defensive play to end the first half, here in the second half we have seen 4 straight touchdown drives, and in fact 6 of the last 7 possessions for both these teams combined have ended in a touchdown. We mentioned both teams over 300 yards of total offense. It has been a fun one to watch. The buildup of 2 years, we missed out on the 2020 edition due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but these guys have represented themselves, their schools and communities very well. It's not just about this game. It's a whole week of activities and practices. And, of course, as always, a huge thank you to the Sertoma of Hastings, who plays host to this game, the Nebraska 8-Man Football Coaches Association, who puts on this week and puts the rosters, gets the guys ready to go. The coaches, the parents, the players. That one is an unintentional onside kick, and it will be back to the East All-Stars. Picked up there by Kobe Heitman of Hartington, Newcastle.
Touch kick is recovered by Kobe Heitman. East All-Stars keep the ball at the West 48-yard line. First and down and 10 East.
Sorry, we're on 2, so I didn't want you to answer a lot more.
So the East will get it right back with 1:57 to go. Seams popped out of there last time with a touchdown run. That time tripped up by Serbandio Diaz, and a timeout going to be taken by the West All-Stars.
Second and 9.
Actually, we'll go 3. Showing timeout. 2, find one of the huddles. We'll go 2.
Great shot there of the West All-Stars. Again, the coaching staffs this week for the West: Jordan Haas of Hemingford, Tony Allen of O'Neill St. Mary's, Paul Huskenfeld of Superior and now Overton, and Taryn Wood of Hemingford. For the East All-Stars, Clint Jones of Meridian has headed up the squad this week with Matt Kuchar of Bloomfield, Darren Suxdorf of Lutheran High Northeast, and Jacob Baber of Meridian helping out as well. After the timeout, it is second down and 9 for the East. Cole Seams probably carrying this one quite a bit here at the end as he goes forward for another 2 yards or so. Isaiah Garu called his name a few times, the big fella from Memorial. Hard to miss him. If you miss him in size, you can't miss the bright blue helmet with the very barred face mask. There's a lot of bars going across the front of Isaiah's face mask. It's kind of fun to see, actually. 3rd down and 5. The East trying to close things out. Sims just carrying it right side. And the East going to have to snap it one more time, and it is 4th down as well. Seems going to take this one. Dances in, spins forward, and folks, I think he's got another 1st down, and that is going to be your ball game. We're going to wind this thing one more time, and that will be the game. The East is going to win this one 40-29. Great job by the East All-Stars, winners of the 43rd edition of the Sertoma 8-Man All-Star Classic. Again, a thank you to all of the players, the coaches, the parents, the Sertoma Club of Hastings for putting this thing on. Our production crew had a lot of fun today. We kind of had to overcome a few challenges, but we got there, Nathan. We got there pretty well. Didn't quite pull off replay the way we wanted. We'll work on that for next time. But we'll leave you definitely with some more sights and sounds from the 8-Man All-Star Classic. But for now, my name is Eric Allgood. Thanks so much for joining us on Striv TV's coverage of the 8-Man All-Star Classic in Hastings. We will see you back again next summer.
And the defensive MVP for this year's game, Del Castile from Fall City Sacred Heart. Congratulations go out to all 48 members of the Nebraska 8-Man All-Star teams for this year's game. Great ball game, fellas. We thank everyone for attending tonight's ball game. We'll be back here the 3rd Saturday in June next year for the 45th annual Sertoma 8-Man All-Star football game. Please drive carefully as you leave home, and have a great evening.